Hi, how are you? In today's video, we're looking at theme 9 for grade 8 history, the Namibian curriculum, and the theme is culture and society. We are looking at the topic negritude. So in the first slide, we are looking at to define terminologies that are going to be used in this presentation and video. The first terminology is negritude, which is a term that comes from the French word nigre, which means dark-skinned man, and attitude, which means your thoughts or feeling about something. So the word negritude is a conjoined terms of nigre and attitudes or tude from attitude. While black consciousness refers to awareness of one's identity as a black person, especially as a basis for political grouping or movement. It arises from South Africa during the fight for freedoms and during the time what was known as the apartheid era. And consciousness is also used in medical terminologies to identify whether the person is aware of their surrounding or whether the person can be able to comprehend what is happening in their surrounding or not. So we say whether they are conscious or they are unconscious. In the next slide, we're looking at the origin of negritude. It was developed by young black female students at the university in Paris, which was Suzanne Rosie Césaire and her husband Ayem Césaire, who became the founder of negritude. The term negritude translates into English as blackness. The greatest African contributors to negritudes were Leopold Senghor, Steve Bantu Biko, and Bernard Dadi, as well as Kofi Gadieu and Kaita Fodeba. Moving further, in our next slide, we are looking at why negritude developed. There are 3 or 4 aims. The first one is to convince the non-white community that black people have also contributed toward universal civilizations, to convince the assimilated black that they too belong to a culture that they can be proud of, to convince black people to be confident and happy with their blackness, as well as to convince black people from across the world to return to their countries of origins or to their continent of origin, which is Africa. Moving further, I'd like to discuss how negritude developed. It developed in Paris among West Indians. Ayem Césaire is considered as the father of negritude, and it was expressed through novel, plays, poetry in French rather than in English. And negritude aims was to convince the non-black community that Africa had contributed to universal civilizations, which is similar to the why that we just discussed in the previous slide. The link between negritude and the black consciousness movement, it's that they both black consciousness and negritude, they both movements strove to make blacks proud of their blackness. They all wanted to make black people to be proud of their blackness. They wanted also to work together with other movements which fought for the rights of black, like Pan-Africanisms, as well as they both worked together with other leaders of Pan-Africanism like W.B. Du Bois, as well as Marcus Garvey. Moving further in the next slide, we want to look at the possible questions that can arise from this topic. One is an A question that says, in what ways the development of negritude affected the lives of African people? Then it will probe you to say, explain your answer. It always carries 4 marks. The B question, why negritude developed in the world? Explain your answer. Then it also carries 3 marks. And the C question is, how important is the development of negritude in the history of Africa? And then it will ask you to explain your answer, and it has got 3 marks as well. Another possible question is a G questions, which can go like, how did the people of Africa feel about the development of negritude? Then it can probe to say, explain your answer as well. And that one can carry a value of about 5 marks. So about 15 marks can be asked from this topic of negritude, but that's not all the questions. There can also be possible questions in the form of multiple choice questions. They can ask about the founders. They can ask about where it developed. They can ask about the link between black consciousness and negritude. They can ask about which other leaders also played the role. We spoke about Ayem Césaire. We spoke about Leopold Senghor from Africa. So we need to be really aware of the entire topic and be prepared for both multiple choice questions as well as structured questions. Well, on that note, we've come to the end of our video for today. I'll encourage my viewers to subscribe, like, and share this video for more video to come. And if you want the slides that I've shared here, you can download them at the link that I provided in this video. So thank you very much. Until next time, ciao, ciao.